Go. Crypto on the Go is where I give you guys a summary of what's in the cryptocurrency space this week. And Happy New Year to everyone, because it's the first show we're hosting on for 2022. And the first show is going to be a little bit different. So we've been seeing a lot of market downturns in the cryptocurrency space after Bitcoin hit a all-time high of around $69,000 per coin. And Bitcoin has traded as low as, I think, $39,000 as at just this week, at the beginning of the week. And a lot of people are wondering, is the bull market still on? Are we going to expect further downside? And people are really concerned. And so that's why we're having this show today. And I'm joined by my very, very good friends. I have to first introduce my Oga. His name is Olumide Adesina. Olumide, if you can, say hi.
Yeah, hello guys. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be on the show. Thanks for having me.
Yes, I'll also need to introduce my second Oga. His name is Dr. Thomas.
Hi, hello. Hi, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Yeah. Hi. Thank you. Nice to have you. Nice for you to have me here on the show. Yeah.
All right. So we're going to dive into the question: is the bull market over? I know there's been a lot of prognosis online, especially Twitter. We see a lot of people tweet so many things, so many outrageous predictions. I've seen both the positive and the negative outrageous predictions. So I'd like to start off with macro analysis, what's going on around the world and how it relates to the cryptocurrency industry as a whole. So Olumide, would you like to kick us off with a little bit of macro analysis and what we should expect for 2022?
Okay, yeah, thanks, Ajibola. Yeah, first of all, we need to understand that the year 2022 started on a pretty cautious note, as expected. Usually the month of January is used to start strategizing portfolios, dollar allocation, and things like that. So at some point, the market was quite quiet, and some markets were experiencing holidays, especially in Asia. So we saw trading volumes thin. But I think on the average, we saw that investors have now priced in the fact that the US Fed will increase inflation by at least 750 basis points. So what that means is that investors are trying to push out their funds from risky assets that include crypto. And just like you rightly said, we saw crypto dipping at one point below the 40K price level. And I think on the macro, level, the sentiment is that investors are just pretty cautious. The big wheels that triggered market activity at record high are not really in yet in 2022. And regulation is also coming to play, and we're seeing United States just announcing through the US Fed Reserve Bank governor that the paper about the digital dollar will come out and might include crypto framework. So investors are keenly watching on that, and we're also seeing the fact that the stablecoin narrative is also raising its head. Though recently we saw Twitter had a form of relationship with the government by freezing some accounts that was suspicious. I think over $150 million. So I think for the market, what the market is saying right now is cautious. But I think it's too early for us to say that where the direction of the market is. Though I'm a bit pessimistic because of, like we said, we are going to an environment of tightened market liquidity. You understand? And what that really means in simple terms is that the Fed will start moving cash from the market. And when that happens, usually the risky assets, those behind ahead of the curve, I'm talking of crypto and stocks, will suffer. So that's the narrative presently right now in simple terms.
All right, thank you so much for that. Dap, I know you're pressed for time, so I'm just going to go straight to you. Can you tell us a little bit of the macro and basically what you think in general for the of the cryptocurrency space as it is, looking at the current realities? And also, after you help us answer the question, being the fact that you're pressed for time, are we still in a bull market? So please go ahead.
Thank you, Ajibola. I think one of my favorite mathematical concepts has to be mean reversion, and that's basically it shows or what I call it, it explains why things that go up will come down. And although there's still space for the upside, but it must come down. And things coming down are usually factors of different external elements. So you could have profit taking, you could have interest rates rising, you could have quantitative tapering, you could have quantitative easing. So those are different factors. And what we're seeing now in the crypto market is it's been subject to those factors. So also there's a similar what I call it sell-off in the equities market and the Nasdaq market. If you're following it, it's been 2% down since yesterday, 5% down year to date. You look at funds that are very vested in tech stocks like the Nasdaq and the ARK fund by Cathy Wood, a popular ARK fund. People are placing short-term bets against that because she's been over leveraged on tech and everything. Yes, tech is the future, just like crypto is the future. But like I said, mean reversion is something that is a constant in the financial markets. Things will always come down. People will always take profit. People will always deleverage. And stocks, just like crypto, but although crypto is risky, it's more risky. But stocks are less risky. So people are eyeing bonds. People are eyeing yields. People are saying, okay, let's take our money out. Money is rotating. That's what I'll put it at. Money is rotating, and is it rotating to commodities? Yes, because inflation is high as well, but you can see what's happening in oil prices. So the thing with crypto and oil is they share similar traits, although crypto is more volatile, but oil too as well is as volatile as that. Not as volatile, but it also has traits of volatility. The thing is, there's always a psychological barrier. So, for example, everybody has been singing $100,000 Bitcoin, $100,000 Bitcoin, and the moment they started praising Bitcoin to $100,000, we saw last week it reached $39,000 after 2 months or 3 months at being at $69,000. So it's this sentiment that we have in oil markets too, when oil is at 80 something and we're talking about $100 oil. But we're not in $100 oil in a minute. It's quite hard to get there. So the market is not what you call it. It's not something you can predict. You can't predict. You can't be in a bull market forever. Which brings me to the question: are we still in a bull market? The question is: are the fundamentals still okay for a bull market? Do people still see crypto as a hedge against inflation or as a speculative asset? And if the answer to that depends on what the major funds are doing, the people with the liquidity. Do you think they can invest all their money in crypto and hold it? Or are they scared of the volatility and say, okay, let's, like usually what we have in portfolio management, where the big funds always want to close their profits. It's not so. For example, if your retail investor can buy and hold Tesla, but big funds are active managers. So the whales too are active managers. Most of them don't just put the money on hold. They actively looking at the market, looking at the beta in the market and everything. So these are the factors that really are moving the market, and they basically will hold the volume. So it depends on how they see it. But the bull market in the long term, and usually that's my favorite horizon, the long-term horizon. I know this is not the highest we're going to see Bitcoin. I think the price today is $42,000 thereabouts. But I can tell you that it's not the highest we're going to see Bitcoin. But I can also tell you that this is not the lowest we're going to see it as well. It's a volatile market, and usually we always advise people to trade with the idea of, no, I'm not saying trade to lose, but when you invest, you have to be prepared for volatility and this. And that's why when we talk about the Sharpe ratios and the risk-adjusted returns, you can say Bitcoin, yes, we outperformed them less riskier stocks. But then again, when you compare it to, if you adjust for risk and see, have we been compensated for the risk that we are taking? No, we haven't been, because Bitcoin is too volatile to give us 70% in a year like it did last year. So it's the long-term horizon thing, but the truth is a lot of people are moving their money from stocks, gold to cryptocurrency, and there are a lot of institutional players, and these are the people that are making it quite solid. When people ask me, can Bitcoin go back to zero? I tell them no. I think there are a lot of interest that have put their money into Bitcoin, although in the crypto space, and which I believe has provided some sort of support or floor for how low Bitcoin can go. I mean, there was an interview where Tim Cook last year said it will be remiss if he does not expose any of his portfolio to cryptocurrency, although he's not going to expose our portfolio to that. But personally, it's a remiss not to have any sort of crypto in his portfolio. So a lot of people are interested. A lot of people have put their money in. It's come too big to fail. And but in the meantime, we just have to be prepared to ride out the volatility. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for that, Dapo. Before you go, I'm going to throw a question out. I mean, we've been seeing a lot of on-chain analytics. So on-chain analytics to our viewers is basically a new kind of metric to analyze who is buying and who is selling Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency, right? And there's this particular metric, the metric of whale wallets, always literally has been hitting all-time highs, meaning that there's net accumulation from whales. And Glassnode's alert shows us that last week there was a negative exchange flow. Although there's been a lot of what's it called, critiques as to the exchange flow metric, right? Meaning that people are saying that it's being manipulated and whatnot, that the metric is not necessarily true. But speaking on the first metric, the whale wallets that have been hitting all-time highs, what would you say that would translate to? Is that enough for people to have conviction on the entire cryptocurrency space? Because you know how Bitcoin works. The entire market depends on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin is up, the entire market is up. If Bitcoin is down, the entire market is down. So please explain that, what's it called, Dakpo, just before you leave us.
Okay, so the truth is, in the market, we've got institutional investors and we've got retail investors. The ones with the high volumes, the ones with the low volumes, the ones with the high liquidity, the ones who are just coming in to put their daily $100 in the market. So there are different lenses at which everyone sees the market, and different lenses also depends on three different things: the objectives, the horizon, and the risk appetite. No one person has the same. Do you get? We are all following. We're just you hear people saying that let's follow what institutional traders are doing. You really can't. Do you get? No one can time this market. It's quite impossible. But everyone just has indicators they are looking at. So if I'm looking at X, you are looking at Y. If you are looking at volumes, I'm looking at the death course. I'm looking at moving averages. So the truth is, all these indicators are not, what I call it, one for all. They're just part of many indicators that market analysts look at. So for example, you could use the whale wallet and say, okay, this is giving you conviction that there's still a lot of people that are vested inside the market. But tomorrow, in 3 days' time, like we see in crypto, anything can change. I mean, a friend of mine usually jokes. I think Olumide is the person that said that joke, that one day you can see crypto at $500 million market cap. Do you get? This is a $2.5 trillion market cap. That's $3 trillion. So one day it can be $500 million, and it's true. So anything can happen in the crypto market. So those indicators are not. So it's not something that should give you peace of mind. I mean, like I said earlier, it's just you just have to look at the exposure to institutional companies. Now, with NFTs coming into play, different projects, SPACs, everybody, now you feel that, okay, everyone is involved in crypto. Do you get? I mean, the only people that are not into crypto right now, it looks like IMF and most governments, and most of them want to bring out their own centralized digital currency and all that. So but because of the threat of government regulation, that is an issue. And then also, you also have to look at people paying tax on crypto gains. That's also an indicator. So some people might not want their crypto gains to get so high so that they won't pay this crypto game tax. Then some people are also scared and wary of government regulation. Some people are scared of what the advent or the introduction of digital currency will affect in Bitcoin. Some people are looking at mining circles. So there are different indicators we can look at. And like you've said rightly, Glassnode sometimes can be manipulated. People talk about it being manipulated. So it's something that even most exchange owners, they look at it and try and look at arbitrage from here to here in different prices. So there are different things everyone looks at. But for the retail investor, which I believe that is the audience for your show, they should really not over leverage in the market. Yes, you want to make that quick buck, and Bitcoin or cryptocurrency in terms of returns gives you that platform to do that. Like your shares won't do that, your stocks won't do that. Those preserve your wealth, or those help you hedge against inflation. But in terms of the quick buck, in terms of the quick 100% in 3 weeks, you can see that with crypto. But then again, what goes up comes down, what goes down can come up as well. So these are the things we have to be wary about, rather than whale wallets and all that on the large scale of things. and with the
All right.
larger time frame.
All right, thank you so much for that. We really appreciate your input. And before I go on to Olumide, I'd like to introduce Mr. Oluwasegun Kosemani. He is the founder and CEO of Botmecash. So, Shegun, are you there? Can you say what's up to the audience? Shegun, are you there?
Sure, I'm here. I'm here live and direct. I hope you can see me.
Yes, we can see you.
I'm very glad to be here. I want to thank everybody for your patience. I missed the link, but I'm here now. Thank you very much. I hope I haven't missed much.
I mean, we've been throwing it down, but so far so good, right? All right, so Olumide, same question to you. Considering the on-chain analytics that I mentioned, where Wallace always hitting all-time highs, what is your take on this space right now? Considering this, what's it called? Indicators are still showing that we are still in a bull market, right? So what is your take on the current state of the market?
Yeah, first of all, if you're a technical analyst, you understand that the market is technically in a bear market because usually the narrative is when a market retreats 20% from record high, it's officially in the bear market. But you see, in the crypto markets, that's a bit conservative. But having said that, the thought is that a lot of institutional investors that are well informed are just being cautious here. If you look at stocks, for example, 2021 at the last quarter, there were a lot of sell-offs. In fact, even Bloomberg reported that hedge funds sold a lot of growth-based stocks at levels not seen before, and that's because see, the narrative is that whether we like it or not, interest rates go up. So uh, whether the whales are holding, um, despite the fact that we're seeing Bitcoin, uh, the uh, the amount of Bitcoin in circulation is dwindling, and the amount that will ever be produced, and those that have even been misplaced, shows good, strong fundamentals. The perspective is that everybody is being cautious, and COVID-19 has already started disrupting. You can see what happened to this tennis star already that had his visa retreated, got deported back. So COVID-19 is even disrupting the economy at unprecedented level. You saw what happened at the Nasdaq yesterday, where about 12,500 basis points went up the market. Tesla lost about 7% in share price. So the simple terms is that in the near term, I'm very bearish about the market, and I won't be surprised if I see Bitcoin trading between 30 and 35 in 2-3 weeks time. But having said that, the key factors that we need to pick is that Bitcoin has become one of the fast emerging mainstream assets, and you need to understand that just in 2021, among major assets, was the best performing. So investors are seeing the upside with investing in Bitcoin despite its volatility characteristics. So I think we will still see sizable amount of investors keen on the asset. But having said that, I think my concern is the fact that by the time regulation come into play and we have a stable coin framework, a lot of crypto assets will go under. In fact, I expect that my analysis that uh, between 45 and 75% of crypto assets will not exist, will go extinct. So people need to be very careful about things they invest because see, regulation is coming in very strongly, and just like as you mentioned earlier, with Bitcoin coughs, sneezes, the other market catches the cold, and some fundamentals already show that some of these assets have weak and questionable fundamentals. So we're going to see what happened in 2017 playing back, but it might not be at that scale. I think the markets will reform, and the good thing is just that the crypto market is here to stay. So for investors, for people listening to our voices, what it means is that the way you got exposed in 2021, please don't do that in 2022. This is an era of tightening. This is an era of caution. Despite the fact that they are seeing some pullbacks, they still have strong fundamentals. Ethereum is being used by a lot of financial institutions. Bitcoin is already a legal tender in Salvador. That's some upside. I'm already seeing that the government is trying to create backed Bitcoin-backed bonds. So it still means that these assets have strong fundamental, but when in the market of uncertainty, you have to be very cautious. So basically, caution.
All right, thank you for that. So two key things I took away from what you said. You said that you won't be surprised within the next 2-3 weeks if you see Bitcoin trading between 30 to 35K. And another thing you said was by your own estimation that you expect that between, I think, 35 to 45% of the cryptocurrencies that are currently in circulation to go extinct. So, Olumide, just a follow-up question. Are you now telling us that we are in a bear market?
Technically, I mentioned that if you look at based on market experts, technically we're in a bear market. But if you look at the characteristics of the crypto market and the volatility, well, I look at where Bitcoin is coming from to be unfair. But you see, I'm not the one that created the rules in the market. I'm just telling you how the rules look like. So, but what definitely is that the run we saw in 2021 definitely is not going to happen in 2022. I'm very sure about that. And that's just because of the dollar entry. We are seeing the signs already. The signs is painted on the wall already. You can see investors. You can see the fund rate. You can see the interest rate bias already. And despite the fact that the U.S. economy is still going up, a lot of investors are putting so much money into the US dollar. We can see that, and because you can't compare what's happening in the eurozone, emerging market, what's happening in the United States. So all sides are on the dollar going up. But this is my concern. Despite the fact that we have concerns that the market might tighten. What of if Apple adopts Bitcoin as one of its treasury assets, or a Microsoft? This is a company that has about $200 billion in cash reserves. Despite the fact that we have bearish narrative, that is enough to put Bitcoin above all-time high. So despite the fact that we're having growing concern, the dynamics can change, because Bitcoin is growing adoption. So people need to be. That's why we say that you don't have to be too exposed, don't have to be don't get too leveraged, and also very important, you don't just invest in any crypto assets. Just like we mentioned, like many of these crypto assets will go under because of poor liquidity, poor real use case, and regulation. And we're already seeing the fact that some of coins are already been attacked already. So we just need to be very careful here. Thank you.
All right, Olumide, thank you so much for that. I know you also mentioned that you have to run, so we really appreciate your expert analysis, and we'll catch you. Thank you so much, and I guess we'll talk again sometime soon. We'll bring
Thanks.
you on the show first.
Thank you so much.
All right, Olumide, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. Nice. So everybody has more or less dropped off. They've had one or two things to do, but we're still on. We're still on to you, Mr. Shegun, my Oga, as I like to call you. So tell me, what is your thought on the cryptocurrency market right now? Do you still think we're in a bull market?
We are forever bullish if it's Bitcoin. We are forever bullish if it's Bitcoin. But first of all, let me say thank you very much for having me in Nairametrics. You guys are becoming closer families with us, and we love it. We love it. We love it. Shout out to the whole Nairametrics family. Ajibola, if you are doing cryptocurrency and it is not stable, it is not inflationary, then you are bullish all the way from the get-go, as long as your money has lifted from zero to some extra numbers. So we're always in a bull run for Bitcoin and most valuable cryptocurrency. I'm tired of trying to preach bull and bear market. Just save yourself from the diminishing returns that fiat causes for your purchase power. Position yourself rightly for wealth creation. Why are you trying to stress yourself? We are bullish forever.
Awesome. So, with your take from what you've said, basically, you said that we're bullish forever. So, meaning, we're more or less in a bull market right now. So I wanted to ask you, I mean, with the current state of regulation and everything going on with, for instance, state USDT data, and a lot of investigations going on there, do you think that that would weigh in on the price of cryptocurrencies as it has so far?
How much more will this affect the price of crypto with Bitcoin on top of the food chain? This has been happening for over 13 years. Bitcoin just clocked 13 years few days back. This has been happening for more than a decade, and it will continue to happen. Trying to trample on that technology that is truly open source and it's not centralized. It's decentralized for real. That's where the problem is going to be. You may go and clamp down a particular exchange in your country, but if it is true decentralized technology, it's only a matter of time. It's a long-term game. So I think the regulators are doing their self, and they're doing themselves a disservice. One, two, they're wasting taxpayers' money trying to do what is not right. What they should rather be doing is strategic alliance with um, businesses around the blockchain, whether it is ETFs, whether it is uh, or centralized exchanges, whatever it is, and see how you can harness the current innovation that is springing up every day, create an enabling environment for investors to come and pump money into it. Then you generate revenue from that. But trying to fight that technology is just like you trying to say, you don't want anybody to come and see what is wrong that you're already doing, because that technology is going to wrong all your rights. You've done well for so many years, and if you don't catch up and see how you can use it to make your own work better, try to accelerate your regulatory um, uh, uh, um, uh, powers and what have you deliverables, and you're trying to clamp it down, it's going to disgrace you and show you it's truly for freedom. So I don't see regulation affecting anything. I've come of age in blockchain that I just want to preach it to people like the gospel of God. This is like accept Jesus Christ or just take 666 or fail. So know what is right for you and do it. The earlier we jump on it rightfully, legally, the better for us. I'm talking to the Nigerian government, Africa at large. If not, we will lose and play behind this technology and monetary uh, evolution. It's crazy. It's an evolution. It's a revolution. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I want us to win. Everybody must win. So jump on the train. Don't panic. Just go to the rabbit hole, learn a few things, and you'll come out as a blockchain ambassador or evangelist.
Thank you so much for that, Shego. I think one more question I'll ask you is, so what is Botmecash doing to spread the gospel of crypto, spread the gospel of Bitcoin?
Uh, Obviously, what we have been doing from day one for Satoshi Nakamoto's innovation, because it is sincere, we keep um, creating enabling platforms. So we've been inviting people to come and test our peer-to-peer platform for more than 3 months now. It's quite interesting that the users of our platform and users of other platforms, just crypto enthusiasts in general, blockchain enthusiasts in general, have helped us build our platform. So what we are unveiling in a couple of hours is special. We're still testing. I mean, I don't want to give a particular day like this so that we don't just we don't miss it. It's so interesting. People are adding to the ideas that we have progressively and productively without missing roadmap and scope of work. And we're really learning from our users. And I want to use this opportunity to say kudos to my team, all of my team members at Botmecash. that have made this possible. You guys are my heroes. So Nigerians should just pay attention. Anybody that loves Bitcoin or crypto should pay attention. We're going to be doing magic. And XBN, that's the breaking news, is what we are listing next. So watch out for it. We go live on the peer-to-peer marketplace. There is XBN, which is bullish right now, doing far better than Bitcoin. Oh, honestly, that's surprising, but I don't doubt the technology because the guys at Bantu Foundation are doing awesomely well. So stick around. I know Nairametrics will be one of the first to hear this. We're already doing fantastically OTC. So when we go live, I know people will love this. Yeah.
All right, awesome. So thank you so much, Check, for coming up, giving us this expose into Bitcoin, your thoughts, and also what's going on behind the scenes at Botmecash. We really appreciate your presence as always.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Ajibola, my man. And Nairametrics. You guys are the best in the game. And don't
Yeah.
stop doing
Thank
for
you.
the system. Don't stop at oh, this is what it is. This is what it is. And you see how it's going to be the biggest thing that has come out of Nigeria, Africa. The world will be chasing after this pretty soon. I believe we are behind you 100%.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, guys. So that's it for the show. I hope you've been able to take diverse opinions. We've had people that have been bearish. We have people that have been very bullish, like Shego over here. So I want you guys to also do your own research. Don't just take what everybody said here at face value. Do your own research. Come up with your own thesis. And I would like you guys to also comment below. Let us know whether or not we're still in the market. In your own opinion, there is no right answer, there's no wrong answer. So what do you think? This in a bull market, are we in a bear market? Do you see Bitcoin trading 30 to 35K into 3 weeks, like we just said? Or do you see us hitting 100K sometime in 2022, the way the president of El Salvador predicted for 2022? So you guys leave your comments and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page, Nairametrics YouTube page. So that's very important also. All right, guys, have a lovely day. And again, this is Crypto on the Go, and we'll see you guys next week.